Musk is talking about putting data centers in space,
Yeah.
orbiting the Earth.
It's a no-brainer for building solar-powered AI data centers in space. Because as you mentioned, it's also very cold in space.
SpaceX is pitching this as a cost-effective and greener alternative to traditional data centers because you don't need the same amount of power and water to cool them out in space. Is that something that's viable? Is that something that will actually work?
It's actually really, really hard to dissipate heat in orbit, in outer space. There's no air to conduct the heat away from your satellite. So it's actually really easy for a satellite to burn up and fry itself, right? This actually did happen with one of the first Starlink satellites that they tried to make darker so it was better for astronomy. They painted it black and it overheated and fried. So this should be a problem that SpaceX is familiar with. But as for greener, well, it's greener if you ignore all of the emissions associated with launching that many satellites into orbit and then disposing of them at the end of their lives. Right now, everything in low Earth orbit, the end of life plan is to burn it up in Earth's atmosphere. And that doesn't go away, right? All the computer parts and solar panels and plastic and metal, that all gets deposited in Earth's upper atmosphere. And these are large satellites, right? The data center satellites, I'm not exactly sure how big they'll be, but Starlink satellites that they're launching now are 1,000 kilograms, right? They're big satellites. They're like a Ford Ranger with 30-meter solar panels. They're not small. So yeah, thinking about 1 million satellites, burning those up in the atmosphere, it's catastrophic. And if they don't burn up completely, pieces hit the ground, and that's a huge problem too, which I've witnessed at my home in Saskatchewan, Canada. A SpaceX Crew Dragon trunk, big pieces of it landed on farmland. This also happened in Australia in 2022. The very first Crew Dragon trunk dropped very large pieces onto farmland. Farmers found these giant pieces, got in contact with an astronomer.
And so we think this is a fin. This is a part of the fin of the trunk.
And then had to figure out how do you deal with pieces of a foreign country's spacecraft on your farm. The collision risks in orbit are also huge. Right now, Starlink, for example, they do a collision avoidance maneuver once every 2 minutes in order to not crash into themselves and into other pieces of debris and other satellites that are up there, right? So what would that look like with 1 million satellites? How often would they have to maneuver to avoid collisions? With 1 million satellites, that's quite frequent.